What does the future hold for one Harry Kane? Hey guys, Fletch here. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another Fletch Talks video. You know the drill by now. This is where I take a trending topic or a topic of interest within the world of football and I bring it here into the spotlight, under the microscope, and we talk about it, we discuss it, and maybe even throw up a bit of a debate about it. And today's video is centering around the Tottenham and England striker Harry Kane and discussing where his future may lie. Before we go on any further with the video though, I would like to please remind you all to please like the video and also subscribe if you're new. Both things will always and forever be greatly appreciated. But for now, let's get on with talking about Harry Kane, because let's face it, with Tottenham's current season, with the current situation that Tottenham find themselves in, and with Harry Kane and how good he is, and how he's not exactly getting any younger, and he's in the prime of his football career, or should be, the writing does seem to be on the wall for Kane as far as leaving Tottenham in the near future goes. It seems to be on the cards that he may be leaving Tottenham very soon. Of course, nothing is ever completely certain, especially not within football at least, whether he will go or whether he will stay. But if he wants to win the big trophies that football has to offer, then right now, Tottenham may not be the best club in order to achieve them kind of goals with. Despite, of course, being under a manager who's known for winning trophies. But whatever you think about Jose Mourinho back then, you have to now consider the here and the now and the present day of what this current Tottenham side and the current state of what Jose Mourinho is right now. You've got to look at the entire picture. And for right now, for me at least, this Tottenham squad doesn't look anywhere near close to challenging for any kind of big trophy. And some say that if Kane wants to solidify himself as to being one of the Premier League's and one of football's all-time best strikers, then he may have to show some ambition and may have to leave Tottenham in order to solidify himself as to being one of the all-time greats by winning these kind of big trophies. Back in 2014, of course, Kane burst onto the scene with Tottenham then, following a few loan spells prior to this. He was thrown out to a few different clubs of lower Premier League to Championship level, of course. But when he returned back to Tottenham in 2014, that's when he hit the Premier League and hit the ground running. And that is where he set the Premier League alight. And since then, he's gone on to score 215 goals for Spurs in 327 appearances, which is an incredible goal record. You don't need me to even say that. You can just look at the stats for yourself, with 160 of them goals coming in the Premier League. There's no doubt that he's a very good finisher, and this season he's shown that there's more to his game than just scoring goals, as Mourinho seems to have adapted him to being more of a playmaker, and his link-up play with South Korean winger Son Heung-min has been a very bright highlight in an otherwise mediocre season so far for Spurs. And you know, his goal contributions this season do read for another incredible stat, because let's face it, 17 goals and 23 assists in 27 games is quite the superb record. All in all, individually, fantastic. But because this is a great Kane statistic, really. Ever since coming onto the scene in 2014, Kane's statistics and his seasons have just been littered with goals, just full of goals. In his first season of being a regular starter with Tottenham in the 2015-2016 season, Kane scored 25 goals in the Premier League, which was enough to see him win the Golden Boot for that campaign. A year later, he retained that Golden Boot. He went on to score 29 goals that season and retained the Golden Boot. And he would have won it for a third time in a row if it wasn't for the even more incredible season that Mohamed Salah had for Liverpool back then, of course. He would have gone on to have won back-to-back Golden Boots, but because he did score 30 goals during that season. However, Salah did go on to have a record-breaking season in which he scored 32 goals in a 38-game season, which obviously saw him eclipse Kane to that Golden Boot, win that Golden Boot, and break a record for the most goals in a Premier League season at the same time. But take nothing away, that's like still an incredible goals return from Kane, whichever way you look at it. It's just on that season, Salah was just a little better. But, you know, Kane's also gone on to have plenty of other accolades to his name. He's also gone on to win the Golden Boot for England at the 2018 World Cup. He's been named in multiple Team of the Years up and down the years. Several Player of the Month awards. PFA Young Player of the Year. Fans Player of the Year. I could go on and on about the list of individual awards and accolades and achievements that Kane has done during his career at Tottenham. But, of course, regardless of that, the main thing you will be judged on overall is, did you help your team win any major silverware? And for right now, Kane can't say that he has, because he's yet to taste any kind of major silverware. He's come runners-up in the Champions League. That was the closest thing he's got a couple of years ago. And with him being 27 years of age now, many are saying that now's the time to jump ship. Now's the time to leave Tottenham for a bigger club that will help you get a better chance of winning those big trophies. And now it's just a question of whether he takes that chance or whether he decides to stick it out with Spurs. And look, if he does stay at Tottenham, then fair play. If he's happy collecting individual awards and ultimately, it seems, playing for a team that he loves, despite the fact, obviously, there's that famous picture of him wearing an Arsenal shirt when he was younger, then there's something respectful and admirable about that, I think. And, you know, maybe Tottenham will win a trophy with him at the club. Like, they still could do this season. They still got the Carabao Cup final coming up, and okay, it's only the Carabao Cup, but it's still something. And with Tottenham not tasting any kind of trophy success in 13 years, coincidentally, the last trophy that they won was the Carabao Cup, or League Cup, or however you want to call it. If they do win that competition, it would still mean something to Tottenham rather than it would to someone who's tasted a lot of success in recent years. Because obviously, you know, it's the Carabao Cup and it's like not really a priority for the bigger teams anymore. And, you know, I guess Kane could see it in two different ways. It could mean that Kane could see it as a way of saying, this is the start of something. Maybe this is where Mourinho starts to build on this, because obviously this is a trophy he's known for winning. This is a trophy that has helped him build success at Chelsea before, and it was kind of a bright spot in an otherwise kind of sour reign as Manchester United manager, but it was still something. Or Kane could see it in another way, which is that, okay, it was great that you won a trophy at a club that helped you burst onto the scene, but this is as good as it's going to get. This is the best that it's going to get in terms of trophies, and the League Cup is the League Cup. You could go on to go and do better things, win better things if you left the club. And, you know, there are the kind of two options he has, really. And if he wants to challenge for the Premier League title, if he wants to play in the Champions League season after season, then leaving Spurs would arguably be his best way to achieve that goal, regardless of what you think about Mourinho and what he may be building at that club right now. And if he does decide to leave, I don't think even the most hardcore of Tottenham fan could be sour about him wanting to leave the club and achieve what he wants to achieve, or, you know, if he wants to achieve it. Question is, though, where would he go if he did decide to leave? Well, the rumour mill around the Tottenham and England striker all point to the usual suspects, as they normally do when a big name player looks likely to leave their club. You've of course got Spanish giants Real Madrid, who may be looking for a replacement for Karim Benzema, who, despite obviously still being a goal machine for them, isn't exactly getting any younger. You've of course got PSG. There's a possibility of joining PSG, where you're pretty much guaranteed the French league title season after season. So that means an easy gateway into the Champions League year after year. He will also get to reunite with former manager Mauricio Pochettino, of course. And whilst they're still there, There's also the possibility and also added incentive of linking up with world-class players like Neymar and Kylian Mbappe, of course. And there's also the possibility, though, of swapping London for Manchester. And to be fair, it could be either side of Manchester. You could either sign with the blue half of Manchester in Pep Guardiola's Manchester City, or he could sign with the red half of Manchester in Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's Manchester United. Personally, I think I would rule out United. I think that whilst he would be a good fit for the club, United only are a step or two higher than Spurs right now, in my opinion. And if those other offers from the likes of PSG and Real Madrid are set to be true and may come to fruition, then I believe that given their current stature, given their current standing, they may be able to blow United out of the water on this potential deal. Going to either Madrid or PSG would be a respectful choice towards Tottenham in terms of, unless Spurs get into the Champions League, they're unlikely to come up against each other. And then there's the possibility of a fairy tale return somewhere down the line, a little like what happened with Gareth Bale this season. But for me, if I was to put money on where Kane will end up next, I personally believe that he goes to Manchester City. I think he becomes the replacement for Sergio Aguero. Of course, the rise of Erling Haaland at Borussia Dortmund obviously could stop this move, and it would depend on who City go after, because I would take a massive guess here and say that City will be interested in both strikers, but I think they only get one. And I think that if Kane wants to continue to elevate his game, wants to be in a team with more creativity behind him in order to break more goal records and continue to score plenty of goals season after season, whilst having a better chance of winning trophies, doing all of that, winning all the trophies, scoring lots of goals, then Manchester City is where he should go. Just imagine the absolute field day he would have in front of goal every time Kevin De Bruyne would pick him out in the penalty area with a pinpoint pass or a pinpoint cross or something. That link up between De Bruyne and Kane would be absolutely lethal. Just picturing it in my head, like, it'd be insane to me. Kane would probably get 30 goals a season from there on out. And speaking of Premier League goals, of course, staying in the Premier League would also give a better chance of breaking Alan Shearer's all-time Premier League goal-scoring record. And I'm sure that he currently has one eye on breaking that record himself right now. So for me, I'm backing Kane to go to Manchester City. But of course, these are just the thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, whatever you want to call them, of this guy. I want to know what you guys think. What do you make of Harry Kane? What do you make of his time at Tottenham? What do you make of his future? That's the key thing. What do you make of Harry Kane's future? Does he stay at Tottenham? Does he leave Tottenham? And if he does leave, where will we see the England striker in the near future? I'd love to know your thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions on this particular topic, because I'm sure they'll all make for interesting reading. Otherwise, hit that like button on the way out if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you're new or want to see more content like this. Both things will always and forever be greatly appreciated. And as always, thank you all so much for watching and listening. I've been Fletch. This has been another Fletch Talks video, and I will see and speak with you all again soon in another video.